My best friend faked having cancer to gain sympathy and money, so I exposed her and destroyed her reputation. She retaliated by spreading lies about me, which forced me to go even further to clear my name. It all started when my ex-best friend showed up at school one day bald, becoming the center of attention. During our first class, she gave a tearful speech about her supposed battle with cancer, claiming that doctors weren't sure if she would survive. At the end of her speech, she shared her PayPal and a GoFundMe account, and everyone quickly rallied behind her. As her best friend, I led fundraising efforts, believing we were truly helping her. But one night, she shockingly admitted to me that she never had cancer and was doing it all for money. The revelation hit me like a punch, and although I initially tried to keep her secret, the guilt overwhelmed me. I recorded our next conversation and leaked it to the entire school the following day. The backlash was swift. Her GoFundMe was frozen, she was kicked out of our friend group, her locker was vandalized, and even teachers showed their disgust. She became desperate, trying to drag me down with her by accusing me of being part of the scam from the start. She even shared fake screenshots, damaging my reputation. It was tough. People began treating me with hostility, accusing me of being just as bad as her. I knew I had to protect my reputation. I gathered every piece of evidence I had, including messages where she admitted to the scam and even joked about how easy it was to fool everyone. In one text, she mocked how her grandchildren wouldn't have to worry about debt because her tuition was already paid for, treating the whole thing like a joke. I thought that was the end of it, but I was wrong. Somehow, she managed to appear on local news, playing the victim and crying on camera. She claimed I had lied out of jealousy because I envied all the attention she was getting. People began to believe her again. Online comments were brutal. At first, people condemned her, but after the interview, many started siding with her, wondering if maybe I had been lying the whole time. Strangers who didn't know us were taking sides, and the entire town seemed divided. School became unbearable. Those who supported her made my life miserable, whispering about me in the hallways, sending hateful messages, and making cruel jokes in class. I even found nasty notes in my locker, calling me a liar. I felt completely alone. Friends who once supported me suddenly avoided me, too scared to get involved. Even the teachers seemed hesitant to address the situation, as if they didn't want to take sides. Lily, meanwhile, acted as though she had won, walking around school with a smug expression, surrounded by people who believed her lies. She continued pretending to be weak from chemo, and students showered her with gifts and money. One girl even gave her a designer purse, saying her mom wanted her to have it because tomorrow was never promised. It was clear Lily didn't care about the lies she was telling. But I couldn't let it go. After days of being isolated, something inside me knew I had to keep going. I couldn't let her get away with this. I stayed up late one night, searching through every bit of her social media, determined to find more evidence. I kept digging for more evidence, searching through every GoFundMe update, social media post, and even old comments. Then I found the proof that would bring everything to light. She had posted photos of herself after her so-called diagnosis, flaunting brand new designer clothes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, you name it. And then there were vacation pictures, taken just weeks after she had told everyone she was undergoing chemo. There she was, sunbathing at a tropical resort, laughing with friends, while the money meant for medical bills went straight into her wardrobe and travel plans. It was all out in the open, and she had been careless enough to think no one would piece it together. I took screenshots of everything. This time there was no way Lily could twist the truth. No amount of tears or lies would cover up the fact that she had scanned everyone who tried to help her. Armed with this undeniable proof, I exposed everything. I leaked the photos, screenshots, and even financial records showing that Lily had spent the GoFundMe money on clothes and vacations. The local news picked up the story, and it quickly went viral. I had even calculated the costs, and the GoFundMe donations perfectly matched her lavish lifestyle expenses. Not a single cent had gone towards chemotherapy. Instead, it funded her trips to luxurious destinations like Turks and Caicos. This time, there were no crocodile tears to save her. The evidence was overwhelming, and the headline was "Damning Local Student Exposed for Faking Cancer to Scam School Community." The fallout was swift. Parents, students, and teachers who had donated felt deeply betrayed. The story spread like wildfire, and soon everyone in town knew what Lily had done. The school, which had stayed quiet before, couldn't ignore it anymore. They expelled her on the spot. But the consequences didn't end there. News of the scam reached the college Lily had been accepted to, and they revoked her admission, making a public statement that they wouldn't tolerate someone who had faked cancer for personal gain. In a single moment, everything she had lied and cheated for was gone. But Lily wasn't ready to accept defeat. In a last-ditch effort, she tried to turn the tables, claiming I had been the mastermind behind the whole scheme. She fabricated fake messages, making it seem like I had orchestrated the scam from the start. She even went as far as editing texts to make it look like I had begged her for money. Lily spun a new story for the reporters, saying I was jealous of her for not inviting me on vacations or letting me share in the gifts she received. And for a brief moment, some people started to doubt me. Then a mutual friend who had stayed silent came forward with the final piece of evidence. She had video footage from a party where Lily, intoxicated, was bragging about the scam, laughing about how easy it was to fool everyone. When the footage surfaced, any remaining sympathy for Lily evaporated. She had no way to defend herself anymore. People who had doubted me began apologizing, and through legal channels, the stolen money was recovered and donated to a real cancer charity. Lily's life was in ruins. Her reputation was completely destroyed, and she now faces legal consequences for her actions. Meanwhile, after enduring all the lies and betrayals, I finally came out on top. I regained the respect of those around me and online, simply because I stood by the truth, even when it felt like the entire world was against me. 6 months later, the fallout from Lily's scam was still unraveling. During the court case, more details emerged about why Lily had faked cancer, and just when I thought the whole story had been revealed, I stumbled upon something that shocked me. While going through the GoFundMe page again, I noticed an email linked to the campaign that didn't belong to Lily. The mystery deepened, and I realized there might be more to this than I had uncovered. It turned out the email I found was linked to Lily's mom, and everything started to make sense. At first, I couldn't understand why her mom would be involved, but after digging a little deeper, I discovered that her parents had gone through a messy divorce. They had kept it quiet, but the financial strain was real. Lily's mom had been struggling to keep their house, and that's when it all clicked. The cancer scam wasn't just about Lily's college tuition, her mom was in on it too. Together, they had concocted the whole scheme to rake in money, cover their bills, and avoid losing their home. When I confronted Lily, she didn't even try to deny it. She broke down and admitted that her mom had helped her every step of the way, from creating the fake diagnosis to setting up the GoFundMe page. We had no choice, she said. We were going to lose everything, but their actions had consequences. Lily and her mom were charged with fraud, and things quickly spiraled. The GoFundMe money, which had been frozen for months, was ordered to be repaid. Since most of it had already been spent on designer clothes, vacations, and house payments, the court ruled that everything they bought with the stolen funds had to be sold off. Lily's mom was forced to sell their house to cover the debt. Seeing the for sale sign go up in front of their home was surreal, and they had to move into a small apartment on the outskirts of town. The entire community knew what had happened, and no one had any sympathy for them. Lily now had a criminal record, and even community college seemed out of reach. For a brief moment, I almost felt bad for her. Watching her family lose their home and seeing her future crumble made me remember that she had once been my best friend. But any sympathy I had vanished when I received a message from her. Remember when the school's servers mysteriously went down right before finals last year, she wrote. I know exactly why that happened, I froze. She wasn't talking about a random glitch, she was talking about me. A few semesters ago, I had been failing a class and about to lose my scholarship. In a moment of desperation, I hacked into the school system, thinking I would only change my grade for that one class. I never meant to crash the servers, but when they went down, I realized I had gone too far. The school never figured out what had happened, and I had stayed quiet, relieved that I hadn't been caught. But now, Lily had found out and was using it against me. She attached screenshots of the system changes and added, "You wouldn't want your little secret getting out, would you?" Imagine what the college would do if they found out about your little academic dishonesty. You'd be kicked out in a heartbeat. So here's the deal, you give me $5,000, or I send this to the dean. I couldn't believe it. After everything she had done, she was blackmailing me. I stared at her message for what felt like hours, my heart pounding. I had worked hard to save that money from long shifts, but now, because of one mistake, I felt forced to hand it over. In the end, I caved. I withdrew $5,000 from my savings and sent it to her. I told myself it was the only way to keep my life from spiraling out of control. But the moment I hit send, I realized something inside me had changed. I wasn't scared of Lily anymore, I was furious. A week later, another message arrived. "Don't think this is over," she wrote. "I'll need more soon." That's when I decided that if I was going down, she was coming with me. I hired a lawyer and came clean about everything, the hacking, the grade change, all of it. To my surprise, my honesty worked in my favor. The school put me on academic probation, but they didn't kick me out. I think they understood the bigger picture. I was up against Lily, and I was genuinely trying to move forward from my mistakes. As for Lily, her blackmail attempt backfired. She was arrested for extortion, and any last shred of sympathy she might have earned was gone for good. Though I lost $5,000 in the process, I gained something much more important: my freedom.